Welcome to our second annual Holiday Happenings show on Coastline. We're out here in the middle of Okatie at the A&A Christmas Tree Farm. They're celebrating their 35th anniversary, and we want to thank Daniel and Ann Doe for allowing us to film here in the vast expanse of Christmas trees all over beautiful Okatie here. And as I said, we are talking holiday happenings, and I'm joined by Blakely Williams, who is the president of the Greater Beaufort Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we have so many things that are happening just in the next 60 days, but we are going to be showing this November 1st is our first airing, and before we start talking about holiday happenings, there are a couple of other happenings that are on the horizon that we want to share with people. First of all, November 1st, today was the beginning of the plastic bag ban in Beaufort County. Tell me a little bit about all that.
'Tis the season to bring your own bag. We hope that all of you in Beaufort County will know that as consumers, businesses are not going to be allowed to distribute plastic bags starting right now. And so what you need to know is that we want you to bring your own bag and bring canvas reusable bags with you when you are shopping at the grocery store, when you're at retail stores, and just make smart decisions so that we can all be compliant with the new law that's in place, banning plastic bags here in Beaufort County, and also doing what we need to do to take care of our environment here.
For those that may have not heard about it or wondering why we've put a ban, we're not the first city in South Carolina to do this,
right.
And certainly not the first state in the union to do this, but there's been a big concern of this excess plastic that's finding its way into our waterways. And gosh, I read a staggering result the other day, a staggering study that showed that 90% of our table salt has microplastics in it.
My.
And so we're trying to, at least from one standpoint, minimize this. And of course, we have such a ecologically pure area here with the May River and so many indigenous species like sea turtles that we want to make sure that they're kept safe as well.
Those friends and neighbors want to be safe too, but what we need to know is that plastic bags are no longer going to be able to be handed out from businesses, so it's going to be a big deal. So remember your own when you're shopping here in Beaufort.
And a lot of the stores are converting over to paper bags for those that don't bring their own, or I'm sure they'll be able to sell them one for $1 or $2 as well. All right, let's talk some fun stuff.
Yes,
here, Blakely.
'tis the season.
Yes, it is, and we have got so many things going on. What is going to kick off the Christmas season here in the Lowcountry?
Oh my gosh, take your pick. There's so much fun stuff going on, but the first thing on the calendar is November 15th. Our friends at St. Peter's Catholic Church always do their Home for the Holidays tour. This year it's going to be at beautiful Daltall Island. The neighborhood there is going to open their gates, and people will be able to go see some of Beaufort's finest designers take their spin on decorating for Christmas.
Okay, and then so that means that certain select homes out in Daltall will be fully decorated for the holidays.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Okay.
Get you in the spirit a little early this year.
All right, good deal. Now, next is the holiday market at Beaufort Academy?
That's right. Friday, November 23rd. So you can go see some of the best homemade gifts and around. And then the next day is my favorite. Do you know what it is?
I'd have to look. Oh, Small Business Saturday.
Small Business
of course,
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, what a great way to drive awareness for that Black Friday that holiday market's going to be on. It's a traditional shopping season and kind of giving us all permission to go spend some money and get ready for Christmas.
I got a little caught off guard because November 22nd is Thanksgiving, and that seems awfully early this year.
Yes.
But well,
just makes that shopping season that much longer.
That's,
we love it.
That's right. That's right. And so everything down on Bay Street will be decorated by then, and I'm sure that the city of Beaufort's going to have all of their candy cane lamps up.
That's
and
right. Beaufort,
set.
Port Royal, the Sea Islands, Beaufort County will be well prepared and ready. We've got so many great, unique restaurants and local boutiques. It's really fun to make decisions to shop and dine local, and we hope that you will too.
Before we go forward, let's go backwards. And regarding the Home for the Holidays, if people are interested in registering for that, do you have to go ahead and register ahead of time?
That's right.
So you just go to St. Peter's Church,
That's
and all the
right.
details there
Yes,
are
and
online?
they'll sell tickets in advance.
All right, good deal. Now, you mentioned Port Royal, and they're going to have their tree lighting when?
December 5.
All right.
Wednesday, December 5. So Paris Avenue, I'd go check it out. Love to celebrate the season in
Down
Port
at the
Royal.
Live Oaks Park. And
That's right.
They always have a good time there. And we are getting a little bit of a nice, crispness in the air, and that always makes for an exciting time.
Yes.
And they accompany that a lot of times with their big golf cart parade, but that's a little further.
Saturday.
That is the Saturday, but that follows, okay?
That's right, December the 8th.
Okay.
That's such a fun one. I love to see all the Port Royal residents decorate their golf carts with lights and festive, so fun.
Yeah, I know, I think Fripp Island also has a smaller version of a golf cart parade. I'm not sure which day that is, but people can always call Fripp Island and get that
Check
information.
that out too.
Absolutely. And then this is one that's been, is about as long as I've been here, if not longer, is the Friends of Caroline Hospice Holiday Tree Festival, right?
Yes, I love the Festival of Trees, and what a worthy organization with Friends of Caroline Hospice. So you get to come to this black tie gala and see all these gorgeously lit trees and then celebrate that Christmas spirit in such a meaningful way.
Now, for those that aren't familiar with Friends of Caroline Hospice, they provide palliative care to those who are in the last stages of life.
That's right.
And, so much is taken for granted by younger folks that never think they're going to need that care, but it's always there, and they have been doing a yeoman's job for decades.
That's
and
right.
This is their real main fundraiser.
It really is.
And so we want to support that. Now, it's changed in different places throughout the years. I think one time it was at the Old Boys and Girls Club. Where's it going to be this year?
I believe it's going to be in the Shed in Port Royal.
The Shed, okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's a great location for that. And if people are interested in getting tickets and information for that, I'm sure you can just go to the Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely. BeaufortChamber.org will get you to all of these resources, but Friends of Caroline Hospice will be able to take care of those ticket needs as well.
All right, and you've been to that before, the Black Tie
Love
Affair.
it.
Tell me a little bit about, the highlights and who goes and who we'll see.
Well, one of my favorite pieces of that is that they take their hospice patients that they have served throughout the year, and there is always a tree in memory of each of those. So it's really special to see how those families and the hospice organization honors those families that that have gone on before us. And it's such a beautiful who's who night event with all the white lights and each tree individually decorated. There will be trees available for sale. You can go home with one pre-decorated, and just a great way to get into that festive holiday spirit.
And Port Royal is really, again, it's had some struggles, but it seems to be getting to a point where it's about to burgeon again. I understand that that restaurant that used to be the old dockside is
New Fish Camp.
New Fish Camp, and somebody told me the other day that they went there and got there at 5:30 and it was already packed.
Isn't that exciting?
Have you tried it yet?
It's amazing. It's
Good.
wonderful. Glad to have them. Madison's in Port Royal. There's a lot of new stuff coming on. We're excited to see the development beginning at the Port of Port Royal, and something that we have been waiting for decades, 10 and 12 years. So it's really exciting to see Port Royal coming into its own.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, now we're getting into the really heart of Christmas time, and this is one of my favorites because really all sorts of different organizations from around the city are involved in this, and all of the shops on Bay Street, they've got goodies out for the people that are walking by, but of course I'm talking about
Night on the Town.
Night on the Town, and that's
I
when?
can't miss. It's Friday, December the 7th, and it is going to be a great night as always downtown.
Music.
Yeah, street
Food.
Closures and all the works.
Yeah.
Saturday the 8th is also the boat parade, and then followed by Sunday, December 9th, they'll have the Downtown Christmas Parade.
Downtown Christmas Parade. So lots of stuff going on here. And then I was really amazed and excited to see that we are getting here in little old Beaufort of international renown presentation of the Nutcracker.
What a holiday tradition for so many people. The ballet, the Nutcracker, will be in Beaufort at the USCB Center for the Arts on December the 15th.
Now, I'm sure that one's going to sell out quickly, so people are probably going to get online today and get their tickets.
I would go to USCB Center for the Arts website right away and save those seats because it's going to be such a special showing of that classic ballet.
Absolutely. Okay, so what else have we got coming up that's going to round things out?
I think the last thing on our radar is that we will be celebrating Christmas with the Salvation Army. And we'll be having our Coffee with Colleagues on December 17th. So it'll be a last minute, last opportunity before the holiday season to give and to give well to those people that need it the most. So the Salvation Army does such a great job of ringing that bell throughout the holiday season, and we'll be collecting toys and canned goods and money at our Coffee with Colleagues with them on that Friday, December 17th.
Where's that going to be?
It will be at their offices on North Street in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Okay, and a lot of people, we're really motivated to give during the holidays, and we're not exactly sure what percentage of our giving goes to the actual intent, but I know for a fact that the Salvation Army, it's 99.9% of everything you give goes to their cause.
Absolutely.
They're people, they all volunteer their efforts to ring the bells, and the executive, I don't even remember what he's called, sergeant or general,
yes.
or whatever, but he works
trusted.
very, very minimally. So it's a real ministry and not a money-making opportunity for them.
That's right, and can get it to those people that need it the most.
So again, the website for your organization, the Greater
Yes.
Beaufort Chamber of Commerce.
Can help you with any of these scheduling, ticket sales, and all that kind of good stuff. Check us out at BeaufortChamber.org, and we wish you a very happy holiday season.
Absolutely. Well, before we break away and get away from anything else, we want to look forward to 2019. And what are some of the things on your
that's
big
exciting.
picture?
We are excited. The General Assembly will be back. It'll be a brand new session this year, 2018. Right now, election season. And so we'll be preparing for our legislative luncheon, which will be on Monday, January 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Save that date because it's really important. That's when we will be giving our Lowcountry delegation feedback on what the Beaufort business community thinks is important.
Have you gotten any sense yet from your folks that you represent, what's important to them?
I think that you're going to hear a lot about energy. I think you're going to hear a lot about stormwater and the storms that we've been experiencing. I think that it's going to be a year we're going to be advocating for veterans' pay exemptions and some of these things that we think will make our quality of life here in the Beaufort region just a little bit better.
Okay, so tell me a bit about veterans' pay exemptions. What's that all about?
Yes, be on the lookout for that conversation. It's been one that's been on the back burner through the past couple of General Assembly sessions. But what it is fully exempting military retirement pay for those that have served their country and retired.
From state income taxes?
From state income taxes. And
Okay.
that makes us a competitive state in the union when the militaries that have served our country so well for so long are looking for where their permanent home will be. We think that it'll make South Carolina that much more competitive. But also, we know that those folks that are retiring are still have so much to give to the private sector. And so our hope is that not only will they find South Carolina to be an amazing place to live and to play, but they will find it an amazing place to work. And we certainly could use their talent and their amazing skills sets that they have acquired in the service.
Yeah,
and put that to work in the business
absolutely.
community to make us that
Absolutely.
much more better.
I can't tell you how many people I know that are retired military that have involved themselves with various activities, whether it's something in a cultural area or an administrative area or a religious area, and they are all able to provide their talents and giftedness, and the very least that we can do is go ahead and give them a break on the income tax. And I know Beaufort County per se does give an opportunity for disabled veterans to have their property taxes waived, so this would be an extra little bit of frosting on the cake for them as well.
It's an acknowledgement, it's a token of gratitude, but it also we hope will be that incentive to get them into the workforce here in South Carolina.
All right, Blakely Williams, President of the Greater Beaufort Chamber of Commerce, the Regional Chamber of Commerce. We thank you for joining us on our second annual Holiday Happenings Coastline, and we'll look forward to maybe touching base with you early next year about some of those activities on the state capitol, and what your folks that you represent are hoping that you'll be able to bring to Columbia.
Can't wait. Happy holidays.
All right, thank you. And we're going to be joined in just a minute by Mandy Parsons. She is the interim president of the United Way of the Lowcountry. We're going to be talking about what the United Way does, as well as their Toys for Tots campaign this year. You won't want to miss that. Stay with us.
Excuse me. Excuse me, are you Santa Claus? I heard you might be him. If you are him, here's my list.
Help the Marines make Christmas possible for less fortunate children. Donate a new toy to Toys for Tots.
Here's Santa Claus.
Well, we're back here at the A&A Christmas Tree Farms in beautiful Okatie, and I'm joined by Mandy Parsons, who is the interim president of the United Way of the Lowcountry. And you are not a Lowcountry native. You come from the eastern portion of Kentucky, and it's
Yes.
good to have you here in the Lowcountry. And one of the things that you're involved in, I mean, this being now the beginning of November, you just got out of your big season where you are interviewing prospective agencies that are interested in getting funding from the United Way, and you're no sooner getting out of that you're jumping into your big time of the year, the Holiday Heroes
Yes.
program. And tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about some of those agencies.
Okay, yeah, sure. So Operation Holiday Heroes, of course, is a county-wide collaboration. We help families in both Beaufort and Jasper counties. It's that time of year, you know, when you want it to be magical for families, not stressful on parents, and you want all of the kids to wake up on Christmas morning just like everybody else with presents under the tree. So we actually come together to make sure all of these families and children have presents and food for Christmas Day. Yeah.
That's great. And this is also known as is it the Toys for Tots program?
Yes.
I think a lot of people are familiar with that terminology.
Yes, yes. So of course we partner with several agencies, which is Bluffton Self-Help, Love House Ministries, Deep Well.
Deep Well is the big food bank here in town that provides food to some of the different food banks around. And what was the first two you mentioned?
Yes, Bluffton Self-Help.
Self-Help, okay.
And Love House Ministries.
Love House Ministries, they're a great group. Pastor Mandy Parsons over there, who's no relation to you, and but they do a terrific job, and they're involved around the community. They've even got that Lowcountry bowling center that also has laser tag, so they've got a lot. They're very community minded, and so it must be exciting to work with them.
Yes, yes, and of course the Salvation Army. And then of course we partner with Toys for Tots, which is phenomenal. We have several locations throughout the community to where individuals and businesses, you know, can drop off toys for these children. And we have a couple of locations, which is really cool, like I know Salvation Army does. They set it up like a little store so that families can actually come in and pick out those presents themselves for their children, so that they get to have a part in that, which we really love.
You know, we take it for granted. I mean, right now we're in a decent economy, all things considered, and it's difficult sometimes to imagine that there are still people that are in need, even here in the Lowcountry, which is probably, you know, doing a little bit better than some areas like eastern Kentucky. Yeah, but you know, we still have so many families in need, and I think that it's important for all of us to come together and, you know, kind of reach out and take care of them during the holidays. So how does this work? Do people like drop off food and toys, or do they give money and you do the shopping? Tell me a little bit about the process.
So there's actually several avenues. So first of all, like I'd mentioned, there are drop-off spots throughout the community. Business can volunteer to be a drop-off location. Of course, you know, always the agencies and United Way. The website toysfortots.org is always a good place to go if you want like a full list of drop-off locations or, you know, more information. And of course, you can always come to our website, uwlowcountry.org. You can make monetary donations so that we can, you know, do some of that shopping as well. Those checks will come to United Way for Operation Holiday Heroes. So, and 100% of that money goes to the program. There is no administrative cost for that. Everything goes straight back to that program.
And then how do you recruit people to be the recipients of the Holiday Heroes and Toys for Tots?
So families can actually register. That goes through our 4 primary agencies. So families can actually reach out to these agencies and see if they qualify. Of course, you know, they'll have to have documentation and identification. So, and once again, that's the Salvation Army, Love House Ministries, Deep Well, and Bluffton Self-Help. And they can always, of course, call United Way and then we will direct them as well and tell them how they can register to become a family.
Okay, well, it's a great opportunity for people to give and be part of the holiday festivities and just show the love that's all representative of Christmas, and get some folks that are in real need
Yes.
a Merry, Merry Christmas.
Yes,
so
yes.
You guys do a terrific job with that, and we're so grateful that somebody's, shepherding alongside the Salvation Army and helping out with that big, massive project.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
I mentioned earlier about the other big, massive project that is, now just behind you, but things never kind of stop at the United Way. No sooner do you stop one season that you get into gear for the next. And I mentioned before we started taping that years ago I was on a committee where we would meet with and visit the various agencies that were recipients of it. And it, just even being a volunteer on that committee, took a fairly large time commitment because we wanted to do it right. And you're still at about 30 agencies, but back when I was doing this 20-something years ago, the goal back then was like, I don't remember, maybe $1 million or $2 million. What is it now?
It's 2.3 million.
$2.3 million. So it probably was about $1 million. We thought, oh, we're hitting $1 million. This is big. And now you guys are up to $2,300,000. And you do this in association with so many individuals and businesses here in the Lowcountry.
We do.
There's always a little bit of competition too, which is kind of neat. Competition drives people. What are some of the large organizations? I know the military is probably right up at the top, and the school district, right?
That we partner with?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually we partner with everyone. So it's hard to just say, and of course agencies, there's close to 30. So, but yeah, and then, we also, in addition, we have our internal programs that are so important too, like our helpline. Did we have our helpline when you volunteered?
Was it 524-HELP or something
So
like that?
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
so,
I
and
vaguely
that's-
remember that.
Yeah, definitely so important for families to remember during
And
Christmas.
what does that provide?
Yeah, so it's both information and referrals, which was fantastic. So all of the agencies come together. So if a person needs help in whatever area they need, we're able to provide them, send them where they need to go. And then of course we partner as well, so that we also provide direct assistance to make sure that their immediate needs are met. And then we'll go a little bit further as well to just kind of get to the root cause of the problem, so that we help them long term and not just short term as well.
Now there's so many good agencies that you offer services and support to. But I know some of them that come to the top of my mind. I think, are you still working with the Alzheimer's group?
They are not a current agency, so
okay.
it's interesting. We do a community impact focus, so the agencies can actually rotate out from year to year. So
and that was what I was involved with, is seeing, okay, because we only have so much money and only so many agencies that we can deal with, who has made a compelling argument for need this year.
Yeah, so it's the way it works now is it's community impact. So we have 4 primary focus areas. So education, of course, basic needs, income and family stability, and health. So basically agencies that have programs that gear directly to those 4 areas can apply to the grants, can apply for grants, and those go in 2-year cycles.
What are some of the agencies that you're currently serving?
For example, the Boys and Girls Club, education, obviously. Let's see.
Are you still doing CAPA?
We are.
Child Abuse Prevention Association.
Yes.
That's an awesome organization.
Yes.
They have been around for 30 years. I remember when Susan Cato was president, and she was doing a great job, and she's since retired, and she and her husband have moved to China for a period of time, but they always help because we find, regardless of the situation, that there's always stressors in families, especially in situations where broken families are present, and sometimes children are the innocent victims, and so they need to be represented. They need to have advocates, and CAPA does a wonderful job with them. Who else did you say?
Yes, of course, I'd mentioned the Boys and Girls Club, of course.
So what's going on with the Boys and Girls Club? these days? Are they still on Boundary Street, the big building, or have they moved? I'm not exactly sure what their status is these days.
Honestly, I'll be like, we fund the programs, so, and I did just come from the director of finance position, so I know they're funded. I don't know where they're at.
Okay, all right, well that's understood, because you are in an interim position.
Yes, yes.
So, but it's always good to have a background in finance. And are you
Yes.
are you hoping to be the full-time president? Have you put your hat in the ring for that?
I have not yet, so we'll
Okay.
see. We'll
All
see.
right, all right. Anyway, tell me about some of the other organizations.
Yeah. So, trying to think, this is so hard because we have close to 30, and I hate to point one out over the another.
That's understood. Years ago, there was this division. Aside from the local organizations, there was also a state organizations that you helped, and one of the ones that came to my memory was the Florence Crittenden House. Is that one still being serviced? They provided, I think they provided adoption services. They may not even be around anymore.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
See, I'm showing how old I am, so things are constantly changing.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. What we can talk about, though, that we haven't mentioned yet is our education program. Are you familiar with like Read and Deed?
No, not at all.
So it's really awesome. So we actually have volunteers in the school systems. Currently we're in 12 sites. We have close to 300 volunteers, and we actually tutor children grades 1 through 3 so that they're on reading level by the 4th grades, so that they're not left behind.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so there's like a saying, because initially you learn to read, but then you read to learn. So that reading is so crucial, which is a very important focus area that we have right now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And I imagine getting 300 or so volunteers has got to be a challenge in itself.
It is, definitely. So always recruiting volunteers for Read and Deed. So of course you can call our office as well if you're interested in that. And that number, 843-982-3040. So, but yeah, always need volunteers for that.
Now you guys have actually moved. You used to be right on Boundary Street, but now they've opted to buy you guys out, so that would be part of the beautiful vista as people are going down Boundary Street. And you now are what, on Rebo Road?
We are, yeah, we're on Rebo Road. So a nice building, it's 1277 Rebo Road. Very close to like the Burger King, if anybody uses landmarks instead of road numbers.
Sure.
Yeah, in a beautiful location, definitely. And anyone can stop and see us. We'll give you a tour. But it's a great, we really love it so that our clients, our constituents, have a nice, clean, beautiful, comfortable spot when they're in there and talking to us, especially during their time of need.
And another, great opportunity for people to stop by and maybe volunteer their services to be one of the many 300 plus people for the Read and Deed?
Yes.
Read and Deed program. And so has that kind of taken over for volunteers in literacy or literacy of the Lowcountry, or is that in addition to the Lowcountry literacy program? Because that's mostly, I think, on the south side of the county. Does your program service the entire?
We actually service all of Beaufort and Jasper counties.
Oh, Jasper County as well. Okay.
Yes. So anything we do is United Way. We actually cover Beaufort and Jasper.
Okay.
Yeah, both.
All right. So that's got to be a tough area to cover. And what were some of the challenges that you noted, having just come out of this segment where you guys go visit the different agencies to see if they're able to be part of the recipients this year?
I think with especially me in particular, challenges is we want to fund everybody with every need, and that just isn't possible always, but we just want just everybody, everything we want to be able to give. So I think a challenge, especially for our volunteers, of course, staff doesn't decide who we fund and how we fund, it's our volunteers. So that's like a challenge for them to have to make that decision of what goes where.
Yeah, well, and I know a lot of folks are involved in that, committee, so it kind of spreads that around, and that's a good thing. But how many organizations, or I should probably ask this in a different way, if an organization has not been previously funded, but they would be, seeking funds from you, how does that process come about?
So actually the way it is it's completely open for everyone. So you would visit our website, of course, and then we have a button, apply, and everyone applies the same, which is awesome. There's no favoritism. So the new organizations that are interested would apply just as, someone that's been funded in the past. So very simple process. Yeah.
And just because you've been a past recipient doesn't guarantee you're going to be next year's recipient. Everybody, I think, starts from ground zero, right?
Yes, it's a grant awarding system. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, Mandy, you guys do a terrific job, and I appreciate everything that the United Way is involved in particular the Holiday Heroes and our Toys for Tots program, and we wish you the best of luck. Again, give me that web address and phone number if anybody wants to help support that.
Okay, so first of all, Toys for Tots. So it's toysfortots.org. United Way is uwlowcountry.org. Our phone number, 843-982-3040.
All right, Mandy Parsons, who is the president of the United Way of Beaufort and Jasper counties. And we are on our second annual Christmas Happenings, Holiday Happenings show here on Coastline. And coming up next, we're going to be hearing from Hannah Horne of the Hilton Head Chamber and find out some of the things that are taking place on the south side of the Broad. Stay with us.
Thanks to your generosity, Marines have delivered Christmas to children in need since 1947.
Welcome back to Coastline. I'm Alec Bishop, and I'm here with Hannah Horne from the Hilton Head-Bluffton Chamber of Commerce. Hannah, we just had a great event today. We did the State of the Region 2018, one of our best, I feel. How about y'all?
I think it was an amazing event. I really think so. I heard so many wonderful comments from folks who were in the room that left encouraged about where we are as a region, as a state, as a country. Senator Scott talked a lot about the work that's being done even on the federal level that comes right back here to South Carolina, and the Marine Corps band that was here from Parris Island, the presentation of colors from them, the young people who introduced Senator Scott and Governor McMaster. It was just a wonderful day, collaborative, giving community kind of day. Makes you feel good, and I know the Chamber, it's in our mission that's what we do, to collaborate, to aggregate these thoughts and ideas of a business community, and to be in a room with 700 of our colleagues, of our business leaders, of the people that we shop in the grocery store with, that we high five when a deal gets done in our community. It was a home run of a day.
Absolutely.
Right.
Two communities coming together as big as the region is with Hilton Head and Bluffton.
Right.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on business-wise. There's a lot going on community-wise. And as you can see, we're wrapping up the day. But what we're talking about today is Holiday Happenings 2018. This is the second year. And as Rick mentioned earlier, there's a lot going on in the region. And Hannah, I'd like to know a little bit more about what's going on in the Hilton Head and Bluffton area.
Absolutely. I'll do what I can to run down some of the events. I feel like Julie from the cruise ship, the cruise director from Love Boat. Okay, so I'm just going to run down some of these events. But let me tell you, any that I mentioned, I'd love to send folks to our website, hiltonheadisland.org, and that's where we keep a long list of holiday happenings. There's actually a tab that you can click holiday, and all of these events will populate in the actual details of the event. So if I skip over or don't know ticket prices or what have you, you can always go to our website and get that information. It is amazing that we finish one event, literally the stuff is coming off the stage right now, and yet we're already planning for our next event, the Chamber's Taste of the Season.
Well, it is
Ready?
that time of the year, and Thanksgiving being a big thing in November. But of course, there's always a great place and a great time to eat.
Right.
Tell us more about the taste.
It's fantastic. So Taste of the Season, this is, goodness, I guess we've been doing this more than 15, almost 20 years now, but it is a culinary event like none other in Hilton Head and Bluffton in this region. So we have 30 restaurants currently signed up, and the really neat thing about this particular one this year, we've never done before, it's actually inside of the new University of South Carolina Beaufort event management space that's over on Pope Avenue. So the ribbon cutting for that event is on Wednesday, November the 14th, and then our event is the Friday following that. So this is the community's opportunity to really see the venue for the first time, but yet walk the periphery of what will be just a large area of restaurants, samplings from each of them. Santa will be there. We've got an auction that rivals any that you with local stuff up for sale, services. Goodness gracious, it is a fun event. I really do start saving my my calories for this a couple weeks in advance.
I understand completely. Had to let the belt out a little bit earlier this year because of Christmas this past year, but we've got room to grow, and I've joined a gym.
Okay.
So we've got some wonderful things happening as far as on the south end of the island, and of course, Christmas lights are beginning to be put up all over the island.
Right.
I was driving onto the island yesterday, as a matter of fact, and just as you come onto the island, they're starting to put out lights on 278. So we're getting really closer to that holiday part of the time of year. And of course, we've always known that there are some really great spots to see Christmas lights on the island.
Right. Well, I mean, even just driving down 278, the town does such a great job of putting the white lights in the trees. So if you don't do anything else this holiday season as you're shopping, and and let me mention, of all the things that you do this holiday season, many people will ask the chamber or our business leaders, what is the number one thing that we can do to help our businesses? And I'm just going to throw this out there. You can shop small businesses. Shop at small businesses. They have so many great offerings, and Small Business Saturday is the Saturday, the 24th, that immediately follows. Is it the 24th this year? Yeah, that will follow Thanksgiving. So you've got Black Friday and then Shop Small Saturday. So get all of your holiday shopping done at our local businesses. Our merchants really help the economic. The residual value, the compounding that happens when you shop local keeps that money right here for local jobs. So not to say that I don't love our larger retailers, okay? But when you go into a national retail store, granted we have local jobs there, but their marketing department, their infrastructure in other places, their CEOs in other places, all of that is part of a larger profit center. And so when you think about that, a mom and pop boutique or an artisan or just any type of service that you wanted, maybe you want to gift a manicure or something from one of our local day spas, that stays right here in our community, and it just makes those dollars go much farther than if you try to send a consumer into a global or national company. So shop small would be the first thing I would tell them, and the second thing is to take your own bag. The plastic bag ban goes into effect Beaufort County, Bluffton, and Hilton Head on November the 1st. Businesses are having to absorb that cost, and I know it's just a plastic bag, or I know it's just a paper bag, and you're saying, what does that mean for a business? But even just one restaurant owner came in and talked to me the other day and said that he was used to having plastic bags that were 8 cents a piece for a restaurant takeout, 8 cents a piece. It's now 28 cents a piece. So it doesn't sound like much, but if you have several thousand customers a day that are taking bags out of your business, again, all of that goes back to the bottom line. So shop local and bring your own bag are two things that you can do. All right, so you asked me about holiday happenings.
That's right.
Okay, so sorry, I'm delaying the conversation here.
No, we've got a lot to cover.
Okay, we do. All right, so let me boil some of these down for you. People always look so incredibly forward to the Bluffton Christmas Parade. It is the only one really here in our area. So I want to mention, everybody go out, line Calhoun Street, grab a cup of hot chocolate, and let's support our community in Bluffton on December the 1st. It's that first Saturday in December, and I can't think of a better way, except for Taste of the Season, that you can kick off your holiday season with the entire family.
And for those of you who are wondering, we will be covering the Bluffton Christmas Parade live here on the County Channel, so we can stream it straight to your home, to your cell phone as you're sitting right there on Calhoun Street or 46. Mind you, it is a 3-hour long parade. please dress warmly. I think it's going to be colder this year than it was last year, but I know all the rest of us are just wanting to think of the hot cocoa we get that morning.
I like it when it's colder outside for these kinds of events. Absolutely. There comes a time when the summer, we're done with it. And so let's bring on the sweaters and boots. And notice that I put it with clothing. Yeah.
Keep the sand hats off.
Yeah, the clothes. So Palmetto Bluff, it's having its tree lighting ceremony as well. I believe that's on the 24th. And so folks can head out to Palmetto Bluff, be a part of that beautiful facility there, and they'll have music and probably things to eat and drink. But what a beautiful setting for a Christmas.
Live oaks, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Really
who doesn't love a visit to Palmetto Bluff? The Nutcracker is being performed at the CPAC, Hilton Head High School Auditorium, and that is the week of November the 12th, so that actually is really soon in the holiday season. So go see the Sugar Plum Fairy and all the little mice and kick off your holiday season that way.
That's always, it's not necessarily a necessity because you can of course hear the Nutcracker online, and you can also hear it on County Channel Radio. We're going to have that playing here on the County Channel, but really great artists, really great dancing after all. It's so good to help out some of our local venues as far as helping them understand that if we help them out locally, they can go beyond locally.
Absolutely. And these are our local young people that are performing in this, so just to go and support them and be a part of the arts and arts offerings here. I mentioned Taste of the Season. The Arts Center has its tree lighting ceremony, which is kind of the tree lighting for Hilton Head. A lot of folks will see that as a central location where we can all get involved and take part, and that's happening on November the 24th as well, the same day as the Palmetto Bluff event. There are Thanksgiving, I'm mentioning a couple of Thanksgiving events. There are Thanksgiving wagon rides in Sea Pines. And so you can take the family out. And I love Thanksgiving events because if you all are like me, you're looking for something to do to get out of the house, to work off that turkey and pumpkin pie. So, and just to get away from the relatives, can I say that? Hope my mom isn't watching. But just something to, get the kids busy, get them, and look forward to something. So that's probably something that you would want to do with the entire family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are other events that are going to be happening throughout the month of November and December. So I'm going to go ahead and mention that the Beaufort County Library System always has events that run throughout the months. We have inside of Beaufort, as a matter of fact, we forgot to mention this earlier, we have a Christmas train show that comes to Beaufort Library. And unfortunately, we forgot to mention that with Blakely, but of course there's lots to go around the entire region.
Yeah.
And as we move out of November into December, getting past the Christmas parades and such as that, there's a lot going on that just takes place throughout the entire month of December.
So let me mention some of those events. How am I doing on time here? Because I've got a couple more. Okay.
We're doing great.
Great. All right. So I mentioned that Harbortown has the Thanksgiving events, but we also have the tree lighting, movies in Harbortown, as well as a Christmas concert with Greg Russell, and that's going to be on December the 23rd. But the Harbortown lights begin on November the 23rd, so that's great. The Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra and Chorus has its concert on Monday, December the 3rd at First Presbyterian, and then the Coastal Discovery Museum has its holiday market on December the 20th. One more event. There's a beach picnic with Santa out at Coligny on December the 22nd. So Santa's going to have his swim trunks on, and I understand it's going to be a great day.
Is that kind of like the polar bear plunge for the island?
Well, I don't know if anybody's going to go swimming. I guess it depends on the temperature. Nevertheless, it will be a fun event to incorporate, instead of what most folks have, a white Christmas with snow, we have it with sand.
And honestly, I think that's a little bit better. We still have to get the sand just like you would the snow out of your boots and such as that. But
True.
Of course, you come back, if you're at the beach, maybe not less wet, but it's a little bit more fun, and hopefully the sun's out that day, so a lot more interesting that way. So as we move from, we're still in December and everything, I do know that some of the other events that are going to be happening around, of course, a lot of sports things that are going to be happening. You can find some of the great information about sports from our Sand Shark Bites. We're going to have some great information there regarding USCB. And along with that, we're coming to the end of a lot of football. Football's done. However, we kind of just hit and missed around Thanksgiving, but a lot of bowl games and everything. So I know you can go to a lot of different parties, as well as different events that are going to be showcasing bowls, such as the Sugar Bowl, such as the Rose Bowl, and such as that. I don't know if you had anything to mention about that for different members of the chamber that would be talking about that yet?
You know, I haven't heard of any like bowl watching parties. I'm sure that any of our restaurants that have, you know, the sports bars, the large screen TVs are going to be hosting something fun. Now, I personally, I don't know. I'm a Gamecock, okay? So I don't know if my Carolina Gamecocks are going to a bowl this year. If so, I hope to be watching them in person. But if not, then I'll certainly be watching some of the other teams, whoever Alabama and Clemson are playing, if not each other. So,
Absolutely, loyal Gamecock fan right here.
Are you good?
I
Good.
am.
Yeah.
So as we move along through the holiday happenings, you'll have to remember that holiday happenings stretches into the new year.
Yes.
So
yes.
where could I go? Let's say I'm on Hilton Head. Let's say I'm in Bluffton. I hear there's a crab trap and a golf ball. Where would I go for such things?
Yeah, so I've been to the golf ball drop at the Harbortown Lighthouse a couple of times for New Year's, and it always is a wonderful party, a wonderful toast. I believe some of the restaurants also have great toasts at midnight, and we'll put as many of those on our website as well, that whenever those start becoming more organized. I think everybody's just trying to get through Christmas right now before they start putting up all of those holiday New Year's events. But speaking of what's happening in the new year, I want to mention the Chamber's Chamber Ball is happening at the end of January back here at the Marriott, and that is always a star-studded event where, you know, you put on your formal outfit and grab a date and just have a wonderful night of music and food. Several awards are given that night, small business awards, People of the Year awards in the community. But we really just kind of extend our holiday season through Chamber Ball at the end of January.
Well, I haven't been in a tuxedo in quite a while, but I would consider it an honor if I get a chance to come, but we'll see how that all plays out. I do know in Bluffton, of course, there's many different parties that are going to be happening down in Promenade, down in Calhoun Street and such as that. But you're also going to find that a lot of fireworks really aren't the key for New Year's. You're going to find a lot of families and folks and friends just getting together and having a great time safely. Might I remind you, please drive safely around the holidays, because it is one of the worst times of the year to drive, especially when you have to drive far away. We hope you're just driving around the corner to your neighbors, but if you're driving, please drive safely. It is one of the worst times of year to drive, and for that, I just want to wish you the very best in driving.
You know, and this is a great time of year. I know our chamber hosts a blood drive, but if you can think of donating blood during the holiday season, it is a gift that you can give to someone you may never meet. My nephew Charlie was in a near fatal car accident almost 2 years ago, and when I was in his ICU room, again, this happens to everyone else. It doesn't happen. I hear these terrible stories, but it could never happen to me, right? Well, I was standing in his ICU room, and I looked up, and amongst all of the wires going into him, again, on life support, and he's doing amazing, by the way, I saw just a drop of blood where he was getting a blood transfusion. And I got to thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, how many times have I driven down the street, saw a sign for a blood drive, and said, oh, I'll give next week, or oh, I don't have time. And I don't do that anymore, because I know that there are families that need that blood now. I mean, you can't plan for an emergency. They can't call you from a trauma center and say, hey, would you mind going and giving blood in a couple of days? They need it right now. And maybe your blood type could be something that could save someone's life. So it's a simple gift, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that as well, because it is a huge need always at the holiday season.
Absolutely. And, you know, not only is it used in our region, it's used in the Coastal Empire region of Georgia, it's used in Charleston area as well. It really does go farther than you can drive. It goes farther than any one of us can actually mention, because blood is more than water.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that pretty much covers everything for holiday happenings here in 2018 on the southern side of the Broad River for Bluffton and Beaufort. Hannah, I thank you so much for being here today. Well, I thank you so much for inviting us to help out with the State of the Region. We had a great time here at the County Channel, and we're going to be airing that here back soon. But of course, this show is going to be broadcast throughout the month of November, December, and parts of January, just for a little bit. And we'll be back in the new year. I'm going to turn it back over to Rick. Again, thank you so much, Hannah.
You're welcome.
We'll see you back here at the Christmas Tree Farm.
this show, the second annual Holiday Happenings Coastline program. Again, we want to thank the fine folks here at the A&A Christmas Tree Farm out here in Okatie, and Dan and Mrs. Doe are so gracious to allow us to be on site here. And again, we want to thank our guests, and we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, a happy holiday season, and a wonderful New Year.
The County Channel is also available on video on demand. Go to bcgov.net, click on the County Channel logo, and select your program from the list.
To the flag.
If you would like a DVD of this program, click DVD order form from the County Channel main page and fill out an order form.
Beaufort County would like to take this opportunity to remind you that fireworks of any kind, including sparklers, are illegal and can be unsafe. Fireworks can pose a real threat to public safety. Recent dry weather makes them especially dangerous. Don't set them off yourself. It's not safe, and you could face some severe penalties. We want you to enjoy your New Year's celebrations by watching any of the fireworks that may be sponsored locally. But be careful and have a safe and happy New Year's.
Here's what's happening in Beaufort County.
We're here at the St. Helena branch of the Beaufort County Library System to unveil, or as you would have it, dedicate a beautiful statue entitled On the Way to Market, and the artist is Alex Palkovich, who is a world-renowned sculptor. And it's our honor to have him here today to present the statue and to provide a presentation on how the statue came to be, and then of course the Friends of the Beaufort County Library have purchased the statue so that it can permanently reside in the St. Helena Branch Library. It's perfect for the location, for the Gullah Geechee community, and we think everyone will love it. It's been on loan to us from Alex for the past year here at the branch, and the public has just fallen in love with it, and we've had so much support to bring it here for a permanent home.
This is a sculpture. It's called On the Way to the Market. And very early in South Carolina, I live here 20 years, I discovered that one of the first entrepreneurs in the area were actually people that try to sell local vegetables and fruits on the market. And this is, so I tried to put a lady going to the market. So I took local fruits and vegetables and put on the top of her. It took me a couple of years to find a proper model for it, and the model is a nurse, a medical nurse from Florence. Her name is I think first of all, it is ethnically correct for the people that live in this area. She is for herself lives in this area for a couple of hundreds of years, all her family.
Well, it's important to the community here. It's very representative of the Lowcountry life, the Lowcountry history, and it's a perfect fit for this beautiful library.
Listen, I think that first of all, by living here and understanding the people here, I think that they really did not have enough representation in sculpture world through this. In South Carolina, to find a sculpture of local people that lived here for many, many centuries or tens of years is very difficult to find. So I'm very proud. I would say that living here 20 years, the community was so kind to me, and I am so proud and happy to give back whatever I just can.
I just want to thank everyone from the community for coming out to support the dedication of this statue, and so we're very happy to have the statue and have it its permanent place of residence as the St. Helena Branch Library.
And that's what's happening in Beaufort County.
Happy holidays from the Beaufort County Safety Education Team. You know, with the holidays upon us, we're going to do a lot of cooking, and we're so grateful for that. We love to bring the families together. However, we'd like to ask you to take just a moment throughout your entire schedule to think about safety. We want to make sure that you and your family are safe and don't have to call us. Cooking remains the #1 cause of fire in America today, so we want the residents of Beaufort County to be safe when they do that. Even firefighters use water to put out fire, but never do we use it on a stovetop. The oils and greases that we cook with can actually be spread and thus take the fire with it when you use water to try and put these fires out. Make sure you've got a pan top close by to put on top of a burning pan. Make sure your fire extinguisher is close by. Whatever you have planned for this holiday season, the Beaufort County Fire Service wants to make sure that you're safe. Stop by your local fire department. We're more than glad to help you in any way that we can.
I care about Beaufort County and its environment and its natural resources.
I care about our waterways.
I care about our trees and air.
I care about our animals and wildlife.
Beaufort County cares. On Thursday, November 1st, we'll be cleaning up litter and showing the county we care.
We care.
I care.
I care.
We care! Help us keep Beaufort County beautiful.
Since 2007, the County Channel has brought meetings, entertainment, and events to Beaufort County. Now the County Channel has a new way of informing you of happenings in our community. County Channel Radio, bringing you all the favorites of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, plus the information you need to know. To listen, go to bcgov.net and click on the County Channel Radio logo. County Channel Radio, your source for information in Beaufort County.